Welcome back to another edition of Arizona Wildcats Insiders Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Hutchison, and we're exactly 8 days away from kicking off the college football season. Exactly Nick Foles days away from the Wildcats opening up their season against the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors in Tucson on TNT. This is the first time the two programs are meeting since the passing of the legendary head coach Dick Tomey, who coached both Hawaii and then Arizona, turning both programs around and making them very competitive during that time frame. Now, we have been giving you updates all throughout training camp on quarterbacks, defensive line, offensive line, secondary, everything you name it, from the coaching staff as well, and the energy out there on the field. Again, this is year 2 of the Brent Brennan era. After an underwhelming first season, Arizona's looking to bounce back with new coaches in the coaching room, new players on the field, 61 new faces on the field, and still some key returners on the offense and defensive side of the ball. But you know what? Everybody is downing Arizona, and after going 4-8, it's kind of understandably so. The Wildcats didn't have a Big 12 media poll, but if you were to do one, my expectation would be Arizona to pick somewhere between, let's say, 11 and last, somewhere in that time and that frame right there. ESPN rankings did not favor Arizona. AP poll, they were not ranked. Coaches poll, they were not ranked. Everybody is downing Arizona right now. They're flying under the radar. They are the underdogs coming into the season. But when you ask the football team, like defense coordinator Danny Gonzalez and others, Brett Brennan and Noah Fafita, their goal is a Big 12 championship. They point to what Arizona State did last season, being picked dead last in the Big 12 media poll last season and finishing in first and winning the Big 12 conference. Can it be done? Yes. Is it hard to do? Extremely. But you see there is a path to do that. Last year, the Sun Devils had Cam Scadaboo help lead the team to a Big 12 championship game. They hit on all the transfers that they got. Kenny Dillingham did a great job of coaching them up. And now Brett Brennan is looking to follow that same mindset, that same path and guideline to a potential Big 12 championship game as well. What are the realistic expectations for Arizona? I don't know. I think this team could be a bowl team. I think anywhere between 5 to 7 wins is a realistic expectation for the Wildcats. Do I think they're going to finish 4-8, the exact same record or worse than last season? No, I don't. I think there's a new mentality on this team. There's a new mindset. I think the talent has elevated from top to bottom, and there's just a different swagger out there on the football field. This is a hungry football team. This is a team trying to prove something to themselves, to the fan base, and to everybody in the college football world. So I think you're going to see a lot hungrier Arizona team this season and a lot better prepared Arizona team in comparison to last season. And after going through the fire last year, I think you're going to see a better version of Brett Brennan as a head coach. You know, coaches don't stop learning. Everybody talks about, well, he wasn't good here. He didn't do that there. But you grow. You grow as a head coach. You grow as a person. You grow as a player. And it's the same for the head coaches. And I think you're going to see a better Brent Brennan. I think you're going to see a better coaching staff. And I think you're going to see Arizona start moving in the right direction as a program once again. Now, like I said, we have broken down a lot throughout training camp. We've even broken down freshmen. But I want to talk about the freshmen that aren't necessarily going to see the football field this season. The freshmen that are either logjam at a position, still developing and need some time, or guys that definitely are not going to see the football field this season, but are promising and showing development throughout this training camp that were big gets in the recruiting class. Now, there are some freshmen that we don't list in this list, but that doesn't mean that they haven't shown progress. We just list 3 that popped out to us during training camp, that popped out to me during training camp. And so we're going to talk about those guys. First up, Luis Akpa. Great frame, good footwork. I understand why he was a high 3-star recruit. Very talented player. But the first couple of days of training camp were extremely tough for him. Now, because of some players banged up on the offensive line, some guys that weren't ready to come back yet, Akpa had to be slotted in at left tackle with the second team unit. And man, did he struggle. There's times out there it's like a revolving door. And in fact, we heard one of the coaches say, man, who is that out there? Oh, it's Akba. Okay, it's a freshman, though. But that's the thing I want to focus on, is him being a true freshman and learning, him growing as a player. And from day one of training camp to day 18, where we're at right now, completely different player. He's now become a solid piece of the second team unit. He looks really good out there. The same struggles that he had were all about fundamentals, and you're not seeing those right now. Does he need to put on weight? Yes, 100%. I believe he weighs in around that 275, 285 mark. You would like to see him get up to that 298 to 302 by the end of the year, or at least by the second season. I think that might be a realistic goal. But Arizona found themselves a really good one, Luis Akba, who is developing quickly, who has bought into the coaching staff, bought into Josh Oglesby, bought into strength and conditioning staff. And when you have a player bought in like that, watch them grow. Watch them grow. And Seth Day even mentioned in his last press conference, how by week 8, he could be a key contributor on the offensive line. Because you're going to have injuries. You're going to have players that are banged up, not ready to go. It's going to happen. And you need to find those bodies that can give you snaps on the line throughout the course of a game. Now, in the ideal world, you don't change your offensive line and you're a sound running unit. But sometimes players get tired, and he could be a rotational player for Arizona on the offensive line. So that week 8 or 9 mark, like Dave brought up, watch for that. He is growing. He is coming, Arizona fans. Luis Akba is coming and rising through the ranks. Number 2, one of the bigger gets in the recruiting class for me, a guy that had offers from Oregon, Oregon State, Arizona State, and others, and kind of flew under the radar in Phoenix as a high 3-star recruit, Caleb Jones. Caleb Jones played both the offense and defensive line while in high school in Phoenix. But Arizona recruited him strictly to be a defensive tackle, and he has a size, frame, and the hand ability to do it. I could see why they wanted him. He has a quick get up off the snap. Very talented player, but you know what? He's still learning. He's still developing. He could add a little bit of weight. He could bulk up a little bit in terms of muscle, and just getting his feet wet into the system, learning from the veterans that hit him like Tia Savea, like Deshaun McKnight, who have seen a lot of football. So I don't think he'll see the field this season, but that is going to be a key piece in year 2 or 3 for Arizona. I could see him being a starter on the defensive line in year 3 and being a key contributor in year 2. So watch for Caleb Jones, not this season, but to slowly develop. He's growing. He is growing. He went from no snaps with any of the units to seeing a few snaps with the second team unit. I love where he's at. I think he's going to be a very good player for Arizona, but he still needs to make the progression. And then lastly, one of the guys that, again, isn't going to necessarily see the field this year. He might. I mean, it's a big might, because Arizona is loaded at the position, at the receiving position, is one of the biggest recruits they got during the freshman class, the 2025 class. And that's Isaiah Mazzell. The guy is a track star. He's like a gazelle with the football. Mazzell the Gazelle. That should be his nickname, because man, can he fly. Has solid hands, but he's 6'1", 161 pounds. And that's the biggest problem. He's got to add weight. He's got to get to that 180 mark at least. Again, Tetaro McMillan had a little size issue. He was able to gain about 20, 25 pounds real quick when he stepped foot on campus. But it's going to take time. He's highly talented, but the receiving core for Arizona is about 6 to 8 deep right now of guys that can contribute. Legitimately contribute. And one of those is freshman Gio Richardson, who is a little bit more filled out with his body. But man, is he super talented. Notre Dame got in there for a reason. Arizona is very lucky Notre Dame didn't get him, because he is a very talented player, and I think he'll be a key contributor in his second season and 100% a starter by year 3 and one of the top receivers in the Big 12 Conference. So keep an eye on Mizell. He might play a little bit this year, but I think it'll be on the latter half of the schedule, maybe even in the first 2 games when you get Weber State, you get Hawaii, maybe the games are blown out and he gets in there. But I could see him contributing significantly in the latter half of the season. We'll have more training camp updates throughout the week as you get closer to kickoff for Arizona Hawaii. Make sure to follow and go check out our website, Arizona Wildcats on SI. Check out our Twitter at Arizona Wildcats on SI, or myself, Troy Hutchison. Give me a follow at THutch1995 and let us know what you think. Have a good day.